Welcome back to Woodsley Bees. I forgot to plug in my microphone, so I'm here at the hives and I'm just going to do a voiceover. So what I'm telling you right now is not what I'm actually speaking in the video. So here I am at hive number 1, just moving it over to make room because my apiary is growing. I've got more hives than I initially had. I'm placing some 4x4s between the bases of the two stands to give myself a little bit of room to raise a hive. And there I am putting a base down. There's Rob's butt as he puts a base down for the top of hive number 4. So I take the strap off of hive number 4. Now the top box is above a double screen board. This is the hive that swarmed. So half of the bees are in that box and they do not have a queen. So I lift that up. It's got some weight to it. And I put that down on the base at the bottom. So that makes my seventh hive basically. Just try and line that up. That's a base that I made myself with a screen bottom. And a little bit of smoke. We'll take a quick look in here because I just want to check that there is no signs of a queen. No eggs, no brood, no larva, or anything at all. So I've got my hive tool there, just opening them up. As you can see, there's plenty of bees in there for the one box. I'm just going through the frames. I think there was a couple of frames that didn't have any foundation drawn out, comb drawn out on the foundation. I think the first 2 frames are actually medium frames because it's all I had at the time. And the rest of them are all deep frames with comb drawn out on them. Now there's some nectar, which actually is probably from sugar water that I gave them, but that's okay. That's going to be for them. It's not for me to take. So I'm just looking for queen cells, eggs and larvae, and I don't see anything on there at all. There is no signs of any queen. That's what I'm looking for. Check out that new suit. I bought myself a new suit this weekend. It's ventilated. It makes a huge difference. I don't have to... You don't sweat in it as much as you do a regular suit. The suit I had before, I would get so hot in it. So as you can see at the top of those frames, there's some honey and some nectar. And I'm looking in the cells. There's no sign of any eggs or larvae or anything. There's a queen cup I'm just removing, I think. Yep, that's a queen cup I've removed, and I just show you that. But there's nothing in it. Just push that to one side for now. I collect all the bits of wax and throw them in a box in the shed. And eventually I'll melt those down and use them to coat frames with. Yeah, beeswax is about $11 a pound if you wanted to buy some. I have bought blocks of 25-pound wax from Sun Parlour in the past. There's another couple of cups there, 2 or 3 cups I found. So I removed those because they're not going to need those, because guess what? I've got a brand new queen for these girls should they need it. A little bit of burr comb, blow on the bees to get them off of that. Put that to one side. Just cleaning up so that inspections are easier. The more burr comb that they build up, the more difficult it is to do inspections. Looking on both sides, still no sign of any activity as far as a laying queen. Which I don't expect to see because, like I said, they swarmed. That was Monday, and today is Saturday, so less than a week ago. This is a medium frame with drone comb at the bottom. All that comb at the bottom is all drone comb, and it's empty. There's nothing in it. So here's my new queen. She's a buckfast queen. And there's the candy plug at the end. and she has a few attendees in there, and she's got a green spot on her thorax. So what I'm going to do first of all is place her on top of the frames. Lots of bees on the lid there. Place her on top there and just watch what the bees do. Are they excited to see her? Are they angry? Do they try and sting her through the cage? I'm just looking at the bees on the lid, see what's going on up there. Seems like they jumped on the lid pretty quick. So I wouldn't say they're overly excited, but they're not aggressive towards her. Just knock those bees from the lid onto the top of the frames, and I just sit and watch. I'm watching that queen cage and everything looks very accepting. Now I put mints up here, peppermints, one in each corner, because the hive beetles, the small hive beetles, do not like peppermint. So I make some room in the middle of the hive between frames, and I place that sideways so they can feed her through the cage, and they can also smell her pheromones as she releases them. So now I'm into the swarm box, which is from the top of that same box I was just in. This is the top box, which is swarmed basically, and I caught them in a tree. They had the queen. I believe it was a virgin queen, and I believe she died. So I have been watching these girls, and they have made out a whole bunch of comb, but I don't see any eggs or any sign of a queen. So I look through all of these frames. They have drawn out a ton of comb in preparation. This one doesn't have anything on it yet, just a little extra wax on the plastic foundation. Now I'm looking for the queen. I'm looking for signs of eggs or larvae. It's been, again, since Monday. These girls were caught on Monday, and it's now Saturday. So I've got black foundation, I've got white foundation, I think I might even have some yellow foundation. The black foundation is ideal because you can see the eggs much clearer. So there's lots of bees in here, that's for sure. I would have lost these girls if I hadn't have been home on Monday. But we had a bank holiday, so I was at home that day. And it was my first catch, my first swarm catch. So yeah, lots of bees in here. And I'm looking at the comb that they're starting to draw out. There were 3 frames. These next 3 frames, I believe, already had comb drawn out on them when I put them in the box. Looking at both sides of every frame. It's good to pay attention to what the girls are doing. Is there a queen cup? Yep, that's a queen cup right there. So I remove that. They don't need a queen cup. They don't have any eggs anyway. There was no egg in that queen cup. These girls are going to be getting a new queen today as well, as long as they need one. Looking at both sides of all of the frames. Now I know they had a queen, but I'm pretty sure she died. If she was a virgin queen, they may have killed her, but still lots of bees. They're very active, but there is no sign of eggs or larvae or anything. That's too bad I lost all of the audio for this. This new camera that I've got is a Wolfgang action camera, and it's got an internal microphone that isn't very good. You can choose to turn the audio on or off, which is ridiculous. Why would you want to turn the audio off? It gives you the option of an external microphone or an internal microphone. The external microphone is better, but you have to plug the darn thing in, and I completely forgot to do that. So that's why there's no audio. So we get into the outside frames again, which don't really have any foundation, drawn out comb yet. A little bit, they just started basically. But there is plenty of space in the middle of the hive for a queen to lay. So just looking at how many bees are in there, making a bit of space in the middle, putting that last frame back in. Now there's my queen. So again, another buckfast queen. She's from Sun Parlour Honey in Cottam in southern Ontario. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other hive. I'm going to place her on top and just see how the bees react. If they're aggressive towards her, that's not a good sign. If they're stinging her, if they're trying to get their stingers into the cage, that's not a good sign. If they're excited to see her and they're all over her and they're trying to feed her and stuff, then that's good. That's a good sign. So they're all over that cage, but they're not being aggressive. So they're obviously very interested in her. So it's not like they're trying to ball the cage or anything crazy. What I mean by balling is when they pack it tight, they're trying to kill her. They're not doing that. They're just interested. Here's a close-up shot, just watching those bees as they check out their new queen. If they were arching, they're not arching. They're just crawling all over her. They can smell those pheromones of their new queen. So all seems to be good there. They do need a laying queen. So just looking down through the frames, lots of bees in there. They're not being aggressive. They're very calm. Much more interested in her than the other hive was, but I need to go back in there the next day to see how things are going. It's going to be probably a few days before they release her, and hopefully by then they've accepted the pheromones and they accept her as the new queen. So here I am just breaking the tab out. If you don't break the tab out, they won't release her. So you have to make sure you break the correct tab out too, the one she can climb through. There's two tabs, you have to break out the correct one. So the tab is broken, and now I'm looking at putting her in the middle again, where they can control the temperature and the airflow. So I'm putting the plug that they're going to chew through at the top, so I can see, just by peeking through the lid, I can see whether she's gotten out or not. And just squeeze that a little bit, just so that it doesn't fall down to the bottom of the hive. So there it is, wedged in there. So it seems like a lot of activity in there, which looks good. So now I can put the lid back on this hive. Leave them for another day. Now this is the nuke that I pulled out about 3 weeks ago from hive number 1. They did not have a queen. I was feeding them, and now I'm not. But what I want to do is see if there is a laying queen in there yet. There was queen cells in there when I made the nuke. That was about 3 weeks ago. But up until now I haven't seen a queen or any signs of a laying queen in there. Like I said, it's been 3 weeks. There's definitely a lot of bees in there. Plenty of bees. They got honey, nectar, pollen. Lots of bees. All the recipe for a good hive. And boy, am I loving this new suit, because I'm not sweating at all. Normally I would be very warm. I've got a neck fan as well. It goes around my shoulders, around my neck, and it blows up on my face to keep my face cool. It's rechargeable, so that's nice. It was only about $20 on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. So these 4-frame nukes, I bought these originally last year with 4 frames of brood and bees in them from Sun Parlour. They were $250, and now I'm making 2 of them myself. So I probably will sell these once I see the laying queen, once I see brood in there, as soon as I know it's a viable hive. So just looking, lots of bees, lots of activity, so things are looking good. I need to make a little bit of room, because at the back of where these hives are is the back side of my shed, which is where the ramp is, where I get my lawn tractor out. And so far this year I haven't been able to get the lawn tractor out because the beehives are in the way, so I do need to move some things around. I bought a whole bunch of new frames from Sun Parlour. I'll leave a link to them as well in the description below. They were much cheaper than where I was getting them before. Now this gets stuck in here. I didn't realize why, but it was a nail that was catching on the frame. It was catching on the nuke. So this is the most exciting frame right here. Still looking for signs of a queen. There's honey at the top, and there she is. There's a brand new queen right there. Hopefully you can see her. She's not marked, she's brand new. She was born in this nuke, and she's been able to go out on a mating flight and returned. Hornet alert coming up. So that's all I need to look at in this hive. That's good to see. Now this is a nuke that I pulled a week ago from hive number 4. From the bottom box of hive number 4, I pulled off this nuke, 4 frames of bees. I also pulled a queen cell, which I believe hatched the very next day. So I believe these girls have a queen, but she would be a virgin queen. Now if you look at one of my previous videos, I think I talked about that in a previous video. I'm trying to find that queen cell again. I was going to bust it open because the queen did come out of it. It was uncapped. I saw her come out, but she was quite small. But the virgins generally are smaller than when they're mated. So hopefully this week sometime she'll go out and get mated, come back, and hopefully within a couple of weeks I should see some brood being laid, some eggs laid and brood in this box. They got plenty of comb. They've got some honey in there. I have fed them a little bit, but I don't need to feed them anymore. Somebody commented on one of my previous videos that I should stop feeding them, But that's okay. I was feeding them in boxes that I'm not taking honey from anyway. It's for them. So there is some brood in this box, but that was from hive number 4. That's not been laid in this nuke. Not since Monday anyway. It was already in there. So they've got some more worker bees coming soon. And then, like I said, hopefully within a couple of weeks they'll have eggs being laid. Just a quick look at all of the frames. Plenty of honey. I don't need to feed them. And plenty of open cells. So hopefully things will start to look good in there in the next couple of weeks. We'll get rid of that feed. They don't need that anymore. So a quick look underneath hive number 1. There's the queen cell. Doesn't look like it's hatched out yet. But hive number 1 has been queenless as long as I made that nuke, for the same period of time, because the queen from this went into another hive. And this is where the double screen board was, so the bees are going in there from the top box. The foragers that are out from the top box are coming back to that hive. And here I am chatting away, not realizing that I'm not recording a single word I'm saying. But I was all excited, especially about finding that queen in the nuke. And my new suit from Sun Parlour Honey. Thank you, Kelly at Sun Parlour Honey.